Norman in Brooklyn called in to say how he's extremely tortured by this election. I am too. That's what I feel about the New York mayor's race. Here's a text message from New York City. Mike, you're not throwing Curtis under the bus at all. We love him too, but your friends in South Carolina simply don't understand the political dynamics of New York City and what Mamdani will do. See, I have a theory about my pals in the Palmetto State, because it's a feisty bunch, opinionated, strong, conservative beliefs and values, and like me, South Carolinians appreciate loyalty, and I certainly feel like I'm being disloyal to my pal Curtis, but I want New York to be spared the agony of a communist in the I wonder if he's going to privatize Gracie Mansion, like he wants to take over or take all the private property away from people in New York and give it to, make communes. What are they going to make a commune out of Gracie Mansion if Zohran Mamdani gets elected? You got to be pragmatic here. And look, political forces like Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa have joined forces forever in American politics. If they join forces, maybe, just maybe, New York has a chance to avoid Mamdani the commie. Oh boy. Now, there's fireworks in New York, but there's also speaking of South Carolina, a fascinating gubernatorial race unfolding. There's 5 candidates to succeed Henry McMaster, essentially. And right now, the polling suggests it's coming down to Congresswoman Nancy Mace and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette. I'll be very transparent about my preference. I've watched Pamela Evette for years. She was elected the first female Republican lieutenant governor of South Carolina. She's a businesswoman. She's savvy. She's smart. She's patriotic. She's MAGA. As far as I'm concerned, I hope I'm not speaking out of school here, but I would love to see Pamela Evette become the next governor of the state of South Carolina. And it just so happens we're able to welcome the Lieutenant Governor back to the Mike Gallagher Show. Madam Lieutenant Governor, it's great seeing you again. I saw you a couple of weeks ago at the Hudson Farm. We had a great evening there, that Freedom, Faith, and Family barbecue, and it was great getting to visit with you in person a little bit. How you been?
Mike, it's great to see you, and it was great to see you at Joey's. That Hudson Farm is quite an establishment over there, and I know it's your home away from home.
You better believe it is, and I have a special place in my heart for South Carolina, and that's why I'm really interested in this gubernatorial race, because you have had tremendous momentum. Just a couple of months ago, you were like at 8-10%. Now it looks like you're within striking distance of Nancy Mace. So for the benefit of people who may not know you, not only throughout South Carolina, but the nation, make the case for why Pamela Evette, the sort of rock solid, you're not a big splashy, Nancy Mace kind of headline generating person. I consider you a rock solid person who gets it done. You're extraordinarily accomplished. But let's face it, Nancy Mace seems to take a lot of the oxygen out of the room, right? She makes a lot of national appearances, and she's fairly provocative and high profile. How hard is it going to be to try to capture votes and take votes away from her so that you can get elected governor?
Mike, what people of South Carolina want is they want a business person at the helm. They want somebody who has signed the front of paychecks, who has employed people, who knows how to make a budget, who knows how to run a business efficiently, because they know that is what will make government run efficiently, is the know-how to do it. And that's what we've seen with President Trump. So for one, what sets me apart? That's a great question. I'm a proven business leader. I'm a conservative business leader going against just a litany of career politicians. I've been a day one Trump supporter. I was a day one Trump supporter, Mike, and you know this. I was in the private sector running my company. There was no reason except that I knew we needed more business people at the helm. All of my opponents in the race, they jumped on when it was politically in their best interest to do so. January of 23, I was the only person standing with the president here when he came to South Carolina to announce his run for president again. And let me tell you, all those other people were hiding under their bed. But loyalty means something, and the people of South Carolina know that loyalty means something. And last and probably most important, put my resume up against any of my opponents. I have ran a successful business that I started in my home, grew to a national company. I have the resume to do the job. The rest of them been in politics the majority of their life, never signed the front of a paycheck, or didn't start their business from themselves. You know, I had, my dad was a blue, gray collar guy. He was a tool and die maker. So nothing was given to us. My three older brothers and I, we made it from scratch. So we know how hard it is, and we know what the American dream is about. And that's what the people of South Carolina want, Mike. That's what I'm hearing. Somebody that can do the job.
Well, and, I think the Trump factor is going to be significant. Let's talk a little bit about that, because you're right. I mean, you and I share the same track record. I'm one of the few national hosts who was with him from the day he came down the golden escalator. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people have gone back and forth, and certainly your opponents have done the same thing. They trashed him. They criticized him. Pamela Evett has been completely consistent in your support for President Trump. What does it take, Lieutenant Governor Evett, to get a Donald Trump endorsement for this governor's race?
Well, I believe the president respects loyalty, and he looks at loyalty, and he takes that to heart. And so, I'm going to work really hard. The president, anything he's ever asked for me, I have done. Traveled with him, raised money for him, have been a loyal supporter, and I think that'll shine through at the end of the day. I also believe that the president has a lot of important things going on, and maybe not completely focused on this race, but, I'm going to work really hard from now until the primary. And you're coming up in the polls, Mike, when people start putting false, ads out there about you. So I'm wearing it as a badge of honor. And I really believe that the people of South Carolina and the people who know me know I'm in this for all the right reasons. I'm in this to keep South Carolina great. I'm in this because I believe, as wonderful of a state as we live in, our best days are probably still ahead of us. And I plan on doing everything I can to make South Carolina continue to grow and prosper, so that my children and my grandchildren and everybody else's children and grandchildren want to stay right here in our state.
Pamela Evett is our guest. She's the Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina. She's running for governor, and the polls are showing a very interesting dynamic here, where you're steadily gaining, in fact, pretty dramatically gaining now in the polls, and you're within striking distance of Nancy Mace. Let's talk for a moment about the 800-pound elephant in the room. Congresswoman Mace is a provocative figure, pretty controversial. There are people who sort of wonder where she's coming from a lot. She's hard to gauge, isn't she? I mean, she's a very unique character. Do you deal with that as you campaign, or you just try to present your own record? How do you handle somebody who's as high profile as Congresswoman Nancy Mace?
Mike, I'm telling you, I am talking to the people about South Carolina about what I can do, right? Mm-hmm. What I can do for them, what I bring to the table, how I'm going to make their life better right at their kitchen table. I'm talking directly to business owners because they know that I understand what they go through every day. And, the Congresswoman can say and do what she wants. I've always felt, no matter what I've ever done, it's always good to run my own race. And in doing that, I think the people of South Carolina will see right through all the facades of my opponents, pretending to be something they're not, or just, like you said, trying to take all the oxygen in the room. People want true leadership. President Trump is a true leader. He took everything he learned in business and brought it to government. That's exactly what I'm going to do. He didn't do it because he needed the job. He did it because the job needed him. And that's why I'm doing it. Sitting in the private sector, it's not a bad thing. Nobody attacks you. Nobody attacks your family. You just go about your business. But we are at a time in our nation, we're at a time in our state where we need people who are in the office to do it for the right reasons, to do it because they don't need to be there, to do it because they have something to offer, to do it because they have the resume that really is in line with the job. And Mike, from now until June, if I haven't earned somebody's vote by now, I'm going to earn it between now and June. I'm traveling all over the state, having a lot of town halls, a lot of meet and greets. I want people to come out and talk to me. I want them to meet me. I want them to shake my hand. I want them to tell me what their concerns are. And I am going to make sure that I continue to do that from now until June.
Well, I have a deep admiration and respect for you, and I wish you nothing but the best. I appreciate you taking some time to visit with us here on the Mike Gallagher Show. We're pulling for you. Keep fighting the good fight, okay? I
will, Mike, and I know with friends like you, it's going to be a long and hard road, but we're going to be victorious at the end. And I'm going to be so honored to be South Carolina's next governor.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett joining us here on the Mike Gallagher Show. Lots of great feedback. And look, I agree with her that a businesswoman, anybody that knows how to meet a payroll, this is the Trump magic. This is why the economy continues to soar. This is why we're seeing smart politicians all over the country get elected who know what it's like to meet a payroll, who understand the challenges of an economy. And look, I was trying to dance around. I didn't want to put her on the spot, but Connecticut just sent a text message. Nancy Mace is a little cray-cray. Now that's Connecticut. By the way, I hate when people attribute things that a texter says to me. Here's a text from the upstate of South Carolina. Mike, you say South Carolina voters don't fully understand New York politics. I didn't say it. That was an emailer. No, don't put me in a position of not understanding South Carolina voters, because let me tell you something. I'd rather be in South Carolina than just about anywhere else.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.